O.J. Simpson is serving his final months in prison in protective custody after winning parole. Prison officials believe he's a potential target for other inmates. A Nevada parole board granted Simpson his freedom last week after serving nearly 9 years of his 33-year sentence for armed robbery and kidnapping. Malcolm Lavergne is Simpson's lawyer and represented him at the parole hearing. He joins us now from Las Vegas. Tell me why he's in protective custody.
Mr. Simpson, it's kind of a hybrid. He's not in protective custody, but he's not in general population. It's a hybrid, and they're doing that just for his basic protection, making sure no one takes shots at him, or no one on the outside is asking people on the inside to take some last-minute shot for some type of fame or notoriety. I concur in that decision, and Mr. Simpson, though, is a very people person, loves people, loves to interact with them. He's always enjoyed unlimited, unfettered restriction at the prisons for 9 years. So this is a little bit of a bummer for him, but I made it very clear to him, what would he like? Would he like for his parole to have been denied and to stay in Gen Pop, or would he like, as we got his parole to be granted and just kind of be restricted for a little bit? So he's in between, and he's just going to have to deal with it.
Okay. Have there been threats against him, Mr. Lavergne?
From my viewpoint, yes. I mean, yes, there have been threats from the outside against him.
I want to go back to the parole hearing that day last week. Did you cringe a little bit when when O.J. Simpson said, "I basically led a conflict-free life"? Many people were very upset about that remark, considering the well-known documentation of his abuse against Nicole Brown Simpson.
No, I didn't cringe at all. I thought that that's an appropriate remark to make. He's age 70. He's he's one of the most famous and notorious people on the planet. And if you look at the 70 years, you're thinking of a couple of incidents in his life. But for most of his life, he's led a very, very good life as a good citizen.
But it was really more than a couple of incidents. It wasn't just a couple of incidents.
Well, yeah, I think it's just a couple of incidents, and in fact, this is the only time that he's actually been convicted. And I think people have to realize that he's now a convicted felon. He's going to be on the outside living his life as a convicted felon on parole. Society has had its pound of flesh against Mr. Simpson, and when he comes out, I think that needs to be respected, that whatever society's had against Mr. Simpson, it's time to move on from that, and Mr. Simpson's going to try and enjoy his life golfing and with family and with friends.
Malcolm, the Goldmans were on here last week, and they said that Mr. Simpson has paid less than 1% of the civil payment against him. They've received less than 1% of that. Does he plan on paying more?
No, nobody cares about the Goldman's judgment. I mean, that's their obligation. It's a
well, the
it's
courts
a private
care about
lawsuit.
It, don't they?
It's a no. It's a private lawsuit between the Goldmans are free to do whatever they want with that judgment and do whatever and collect on it. I've gotten a big jury judgment against some people and it's my obligation to try and collect on that judgment. The Goldmans can go around doing whatever they want, collecting on the judgment, and then also getting their book advances for $500,000, $250,000. Anything they want to do. So that's up to the Goldmans.
But your client doesn't want to willingly pay any money.
It's not his obligation to pay them any money.
It's not his obligation, even though there was a judgment?
No, it's their obligation. It's a civil judgment. It's their obligation to use writs, and there's all kinds of things to collect on a civil judgment, but that's not even on Mr. Simpson's radar screen.
What is on his
and neither mine either.
What is on his radar screen then? What does he plan to do with his life?
He's going to go out and do what he was doing right before, which is to golf and spend a lot of time with his family and a lot of time with his friends.
He has also said that he wants to go to the grave of Nicole Simpson. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
No, he hasn't.
Well,
he didn't say that.
There are reports that he plans to go visit the grave. Is that true?
He's planning to visit. There are family members who've passed away since he's been incarcerated, and that bums him out a lot that he wasn't there to grieve with his loved ones, and these people have been buried. So he plans to go and in some way, at some point, honor the graves of those members who've passed away while he was incarcerated.
Okay, so the reports that he was planning to go to Nicole Brown Simpson's grave, is that incorrect?
Yeah, that's false.
All right, well, that's good to know. A lot of people consider that insensitive. That's good to know that you could clear that up. Where does he plan to live? There are reports that he's going to live in Florida. Is that true?
That's the plan, correct, yes. And that was discussed at the parole hearing. That's why they had the interstate compact the guy who did that, he's a specialist and he's very good. All these people at the Nevada Department of Parole and Probation, very, very highly skilled people. And it's in the works right now. There's a lot of paperwork that has to be done and completed for him to be able to be released timely. So that pretty much is going to be the location that he's going to wind up at. That's not 100%, but that's pretty much where he's going to wind up, is in Florida.
And what are your concerns as he prepares to leave prison and face life on the outset? What concerns do you have for him, considering a lot of people still have very negative feelings? He has positive feelings, I know, but there are still a lot of negative feelings about O.J. Simpson in this country.
Well, he's just going to focus on the people that have positive feelings about him. I mean, what good does it do him to focus on what people think of him negatively? He's polarizing. He gets that. I get that. But he's going to focus on those positives. And one of the things I think we're going to address probably as a focal point, I'm not sure what his plans are other than just to remain a retiree, but he does feel that he's been being pimped out a lot by people who are just capitalizing on his notoriety. And, you know, you see it every day, people writing books. People doing TV shows, and so that that kind of rubs him the wrong way. And I'm not sure why people have been doing it for a quarter of a century, but it's rubbing him the wrong way right now. And so that's something that, to the extent that we can, we will probably start addressing.
All right, Malcolm Lavergne, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.